This conference will now be recorded.
Well, thank you all for coming today. I'm Marcia Derbyshire with Sinclair Recreation. I've been working for Game Time Sinclair Recreation for about 2.5 years. Prior to that, I worked for the Fort Wayne Parks Department. I did all of their capital improvement projects for 18 years. They had 86 parks. I probably touched all of their parks. I've renovated probably 60 parks, all kinds of different sizes from $1 million parks down to like $60,000 parks. So I know exactly what you guys go through. I did it on a daily basis. I understand the importance of maintenance. I understand the importance of children and having sensory relief, especially nowadays with more kids with autism and special needs. We always want to design for all kids and all abilities. So that's one of my passions, I would say. I have family members with autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome. So I understand what parents go through. So I want to really design a playground that meets the needs of everybody in your community. And another thing that Game Time can do is we have a third-party scholar network that actually designs national demonstration sites for inclusion and for play on. And I designed this playground for all abilities for inclusion and play on. So kids get their whole body, both physically, mentally, and emotionally set into these designs so that kids and adults can play together. So there is a lot of thought that went behind this, and there's so many different types of play panels that we can do and different types of equipment, from music, from play panels, from ramps, and all the freestanding. I tried to interact and do as many different types, whether it's spinning, swinging, sliding, brachiating, and balance. So we get all of the different types of components that a kid can do on a playground, and adults. This is multi-generational for all kids and adults to play together. And I know your inspiration was Taylor's Dream, and I designed Taylor's Dream back when I was with Fort Wayne Parks. So I worked with the League of the Blind and Turnstone. I worked with their therapists, and also we designed a therapy guide. So if a therapist wanted to come to this playground, I don't have it designed for this, but we could work with a rec therapist, and then you could have different components on here and figure out different things that kids could do. Even though it's a therapy base, it's more play based because they could still have fun while they're learning and growing. This is designed for 2 to 12 plus adults, encouraging role playing, socialization, creative imagination play, and multisensory. This is designed with ramps, and I know ramps was important, and I also did a second design with a lot of different freestanding components that we can also interact with the ramp system.
On the 2 to 12 plus adults, why is it like that? Why or just for all? I mean, is there a reason?
ASTM standards are 2 to 12. They don't have an ASTM standard for adults. Usually when you do ASTM standard for adults, you're into fitness. Fitness is 13 and above, which is a different type of set of standards. So this playground is only based on the ASTM standards. That's the only age group that you can go up to is 12. Yeah, based on their anthropometrics for size. Yeah, good question. And the other thing I know is important is site conditions, going over maintenance, drainage by parks, tree removal by parks, fence by parks, and the retaining wall will be built by the parks. We talked about the safety surfacing, having a wheelchair accessible surfacing, and that could be with turf or PIP. Those are the two primary types of surfacing out there. And I've done both. There's pros and cons to all types of maintenance for safety surfacing, and I have talked with Casey about that. Poured rubber, a lot of people don't know that there is a maintenance coat that you need to do like every 3 years, and especially the high impact areas where you're going to have a lot of foot traffic. It's best to use the small granule PIP. That way it will give you longevity around those high use areas. And then do a roll coat about every 3 years. Just depend on use and abuse, but that is the best way to maintain your rubber. And with turf, the best thing that you can do is get a power broom and get those blades to stand back up. You might want to do that in the spring and the fall. And then over time, it does have small ballast that's coated with a green color. So some of the ballast is black and it gets really hot. Ours is green, so it's a little bit cooler. But that's what holds the turf down because it's only tacked around the perimeter. So this is what you would have to add to hold it in, and over time this does wear out or get displaced, and then you'll have to add some more over time.
Yeah, the more I do, I've been studying and talking, and I'm gonna spend some time, after our 3 vendors is the turf is more plus a lot of different. They're both, yeah.
Yeah.
They both have their pros and cons.
Yeah. And the other
That's
thing,
gonna be the hard part.
absolutely. The other cool thing that I noticed when I did Taylor's Dream, that was the first turf project that I've ever done, and I know everybody was very nervous that I was suggesting it. But turf is another sensory component for kids. They like the feel of the grass. And also, I have noticed that families will actually get out on the turf. They'll lay a blanket down and have like a little picnic on the playground. So that's the other cool thing.
That was the first turf you did?
Yes.
Taylor's Dream.
Mm-hmm. And they have replaced it maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
And how old was that?
I think that was done in 2004. Yeah.
So 20 years.
Yeah. But the thing is, you only have to, if you maintain it right, just the turf would have to be replaced because your stone base is still good.
Yeah.
The same thing with rubber, that you still have your stone base, but the impact attenuation should still be good, so you could recap a PIP job. Come in with a 1/2-inch wear layer and go over the top of it and get additional years of life.
And we got to understand that gets a lot of use. Taylor Dream gets a lot of use.
Yes, it does.
20 years is
and you
a lot of use.
Yeah.
So that might be a good thing to actually, I reach out to them like, hey, how many people a day?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking hundreds.
Yeah.
They have held up for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And then we do have the third-party scholar network that I talked about that has the Center for Outreach and Research for our playgrounds. They actually are the ones that help us design these playgrounds, and ours is this one is certified for inclusive and play-on design. So, and that includes the 7 principles for inclusive design and the principles for play-on. So, enough about that. Any questions so far? No. Okay. All right.
John, are you still good?
Yeah, I'm still good.
I can't see if Tiffany's on.
It doesn't want to advance.
Oh boy. Let's go to. I don't know. We'll see if we have to click on that every time. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So I already talked about myself being the representative for Sinclair Recreation. I've been in playgrounds and parks for about 30 years. So a lot of it is construction side, but also design.
And did Kindleville just use you guys, Sinclair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So we did a community build at Sunset Park and also at Bixler Lake. Yep. Worked with Dawn. And we've been in business, or Gamecom's been in business since 1929. We're the oldest and the largest playground manufacturer in the United States. Game time warranties, I'm gonna go over that because I know that's important. Lifetime limited warranty on our PowerScape and Prime Time, and that's the size of is it either a 3.5 or a 5-inch. We have a limited lifetime on our TrueLock. And Game Time has a direct bolt connection. They don't have clamps. Other playground manufacturers have their posts with a clamp that goes around the outside, and there's a lot of fasteners that hold those clamps on. Ours are actually bolted through into the pipe. So it gives you a TrueLock strong connection. And they're all stainless steel fasteners. Lifetime limited warranty on our hardware, 15-year on our rotationally molded components, 10-year limited on our HPL, like our signage, net climbers, 5-year. But really, if you maintain things, they're going to last a long time. And doing like high frequency inspections and low frequency. And I can help. I don't live in Leo, so I'm not very far from here. And I'd be happy to come and do inspections for you annually also. Sinclair Recreation has been in business since 2003. Rich and Diane have grown up in the playground industry. They are the owners of Sinclair Recreation, and they have a deep passion for playgrounds and parks. And we are located in Holland, Michigan. I am the Northern Indiana rep, and I'm located out of Leo. I gave him, Casey, a list of references of a lot of different inclusive playgrounds that we have done in the area. Valparaiso was the last one that I just did. That was an inclusive playground that got a lot of good publicity, and everybody really enjoyed the inclusive playground. And it is a national demonstration site for inclusivity. And we also did play on there. The city of Elkhart, I just did 7 playgrounds in Elkhart. We did Kendallville. Fort Wayne Parks, I just finished 2 playgrounds there. Most playgrounds aren't inclusive because they do cost more money to be an inclusive playground, but I also always try to push for inclusivity. Sometimes the ramps just get too expensive, but we do include a lot of sensory components, sensory relief components on the playground itself and the freestanding pieces.
Melissa's on her way. I knew she was in a meeting. I didn't want to bother her.
So we've done a lot of like Tatton Park. That was one of our biggest ones. Mission to Mars, that got a lot of use up in Michigan, and is very popular in that area. Got lots of references if you need that. Manufacturing, we're made in the United States, as I spoke about. 4,000 square foot facility in Alabama. We're compliant for ADA and ASTM, and we're also IPMA certified. We have the direct bolt system that I talked about earlier. And on our playgrounds, what I wanted to go over was the designs. So here we have the ramp system, and on here we have, okay, you have the design there for the ramp. This one is the design here for the ramp. And I'll move this one, and you already have the ramp design there. Perfect. Okay. So we, this one here, you come up to the ramp. We have a 1-foot elevated deck here with music. What I like about ours is we have a big deck, so if a child is in a mobility device, they can play and other kids can play alongside of them. That's why I like the big decks that we have located here. And there's play components with music here. We also have parallel play. So if somebody is coming up here in a wheelchair, you could have somebody else coming alongside them, like along the balance beam. So they're like playing together still to get up to the higher deck. Then we have a 2-foot deck here that has a climber and then a slide. And we also have a stainless steel slide. Stainless steel slides, if somebody has a cochlear implant, it won't cause static. So that's why we do stainless. Stainless does get a little bit hot, so you just want to be cognizant of the orientation of the stainless steel slide in relationship to the sun. But that is something that we did at Taylor's Dream also. And then when you go up to the second deck, we also have the crow's nest. And that is an area where if you're in a wheelchair, you can get your legs under. So you don't have to have the side approach. You can do a forward approach. And then you go up to the next 3-foot deck. And we have a sensory wave climber on there. And that has different types of sensors. So that would be this piece here.
On this one right here?
This right here is a crawl tube that'll take you from one deck to the other. Yep. And then the sensory wave climber is right here.
Oh, got ya.
There's panels that are on the side.
Yeah, I think there's more. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
This is just a better color.
Okay.
And I think I had.
One more.
Yeah. So on the sensory wave climber, that is, so a child can transfer out of their wheelchair and they can go up the climber And there's different play panels on that climber for them to interact with. It's either auditory, sensory, or tactile, or visual. So there's different ways that we can create some sensory relief on those play panels.
Where is that at?
That is this climber here. Coming up to that deck. Yeah.
Okay, which one on, is it this picture?
You can't see it
Okay.
in that view.
Is it? I messed them up already.
That's fine. You can see it on right over here
Oh,
on that
yeah.
side.
Oh,
coming
yeah.
Up. Okay. And then this is the crow's nest that I was showing you about, where you can have your wheelchair underneath and still interact with the play panel.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, so the sensory wave climber, and that's tactile also, so when they transfer out of their wheelchair,
Say that again, how does someone in a wheelchair goes up and they can interact with?
they transfer here. That is a level platform at ADA height for them to transfer out, and then they can push themselves up to the sensory wave climber, and there's play pieces on either side of that wall that they can play with. And also a child in a wheelchair can wheel onto the side of it and interact as well.
Oh, of that.
Uh-huh.
That side, okay.
If our committee's interested in this piece and this design, you have one of these anywhere within
Yeah.
2 states?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. That's why if we find these sensory pieces that you like, I will take you on a road trip.
Nice.
Fort Wayne Parks has done a lot of the sensory components that we have designed, and that would be Lawton, McMillan, and Foster.
Got ya.
So we can take you to a lot of those as well.
Are there any of these pieces in Holland?
In Holland, Michigan? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Are you from
You're
that
going
area?
there soon.
We're gonna, fall break, we're going that way.
Oh,
Oh,
wonderful. Oh,
nice.
yeah,
My
that's
son's in a wheelchair, so.
okay. Oh my gosh, I will get you some of the best playgrounds.
Yes, please.
Yay.
Traverse
Okay.
City, maybe?
We do the whole state of Michigan. I forgot to say that. We do Indiana
Give
and
me
Michigan.
the other one.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, that'll
So
be
we're on
exciting.
this one, right?
Yeah.
I love hearing that he can pull up and his legs would go under.
Yes.
Because you can't get that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other cool thing that we also have is switch technology. If you don't have the fine motor skills and you want to interact with a play panel, this button will actually plug into our play panels, and then kids can interact with the touch of a button. They just need to touch.
What do you mean?
The play panels that are like on the sensory wave climber
Okay.
and different like sensory walls
Yeah.
that we have, like
So what?
the sensory here. You could put a switch technology panel in there, and then kids can interact via a button. You just have to plug it in, and then
Forever? I mean, it'd be there for good.
the children that need that would have to get that separately because you couldn't leave it at the
I
park.
already have them though.
Okay, explain. I don't understand.
So AbleNet is like, so a lot of communication devices and stuff.
Like
they can't.
Hearing?
No, they can't talk.
Okay, talk. Okay.
So they'll use AbleNet to get communication devices, but toys and stuff they can't use. So like I have a kid who has a button and it connects to the toy. So like if you want balls to go down the ramp, he just pushes the button and it releases the ball to go down.
Really?
He can't like pick up the ball and put it out.
Levi has a bubble machine that has one of those too, because it's got a little, like just a little toggle on the side and his fingers can't get it. So all he has to do is press the button and it does it.
So on the playground, how would that work in conjunction with your son?
So he would take his button and plug it
Yep.
in.
His button. So
Or you do a checkout.
Yeah.
what's a checkout?
So like some of these parks that we're planning on going to in Michigan, they have all-terrain wheelchairs. You just have to like reserve.
Really?
Yep, and you just check it out.
Got ya.
It's
Okay.
a huge drawing
I
point
bet
for
the
families like
library or
ours.
something could
Yeah.
do it as well. If you
Mhm. Or
have the
advertise
buttons
that
at
it's
the
there.
library, they could check them out at the library.
Well, yeah, and we have a park off. That's something we can have up there.
Lots of options.
Yeah.
But those are big draws to families like ours because not everybody has it. So
Huh?
we're gonna go there because we know we can get that thing.
I
We
would.
can enjoy
Yeah,
it.
that's something I've never.
Mhm.
Never thought about until you think about it. Right?
Yeah. And I just, like what I want to do is like pay it forward. So if you do a playground with switch technology, I would give you one of those just so you have it on hand. So
Wow.
family members that would need it would have it available. Yeah, because so far the kids that I have ran into, they don't have these. And I thought these are very common, I would think. But to see them on playgrounds, it's not very common. But it's a lot of fun. And I'll send you some links so you can see other kids interacting with the Switch technology. And it's either music or animal sounds and different things like that that we have those panels for. Yep.
So obviously it's electronic. So is there a higher repair rate of needs or?
These are rotogen, so there's no batteries involved. It's just human powered. Yep. Good question.
No batteries.
Yeah.
Even better. Wow.
Okay. So some other things that I'll point out as you go up to the ramp system here, we got the balance beam and the upper deck, and then we got the tube slide or tube crawl that you can climb up to the next level. We have the next ramp here that'll take you down the stainless steel slide for the children with cochlear implants so they don't get static. We have your smaller climber here to get up to your deck, and then there's a play seat back on that wall. So that's just another gathering space. Socialization is important for kids, not just to run, but actually sit down and talk and communicate. We have a play panel here. And then this is a brachiating panel where if you're in a wheelchair, it's lower so you can actually grab the bars and pull yourself up. So that's at the right elevation height. We have the slide that comes down with a little bit of a angle there. And then what we try to do is looping patterns. So when you come down the slide, you want to be able to get back on the playground. So that's where you would come over back to the sensory wave and get up, and that would be a looping pattern there. Same way with looping pattern here, when you go down the double slide, you can come back up and climb up the leaning wall. And the leaning wall is probably more of a moderate type of climber because you want to have like intermediate, moderate, and more of a higher level of degree for climbing. So there's a variety in there. So kids can, as they get older, they won't get bored of the playground. And then here's another play panel with an imagination play down below. It's a storefront panel. And that's always fun for children. If they're in a mobility device, they can wheel under there and interact and have imagination play with others. And then we have the music over here on the side, the bongos. Kids can interact and play side by side as well. And then in the back, we have an inclusive seesaw. A child can transfer out of their wheelchair and they can sit in the middle, or they can actually go to the seats.
Here's a.
And that's an inclusive seesaw for 2 to 5 year olds. We also have a inclusive seesaw for 5 to 12 year olds. So it just depends on what age group you would want. They're both very popular, and I can take you to both sites that have those. You can get 6 kids on there and even more. When they transfer out to the center, they can sit in there and then interact and rock back and forth.
Does that allow a seatbelt to be put on or a harness?
If you want, the Rocksaw Seesaw has that component available. The one thing about harnesses, being in a public playground, you just have to be aware of the liability that comes along with a harness. Because if somebody misuses it, it could become a strangulation.
So what do you see parks doing?
I've been going mostly towards the Rocksaw Seesaw. That has more of a molded back. So if somebody does transfer out, it has handholds with the molded back. So you can sit, and it does lean back a little bit, so you have the ability to stay seated while it is rocking.
My thinking was for those that don't have the upper mobility strength.
Uh-huh.
So what do you use?
When you're in a seat, that is something that you would have to, you could sit in the middle and you could lie down on the seesaw. That's what they're doing here. You could sit in the middle and it can rock back and forth.
But there's still no strap.
There's no strap in the center one, but the Rocksaw Seesaw, you can add the strap to it.
It'd be interesting to know what the liability between having the strap versus no strap
Yeah,
would be.
we for Indiana, the liability is, I mean, you can sue the parks. It's hard to explain. Yeah. There's a state law out there, so.
There's a maximum amount only, right?
Well, no, I mean, it's enter at your own risk, and unless you're doing something, like if I had a hole I knew about, somebody died in it, then I could be, you know what I mean? there's been a problem. But yeah, I don't think there's any liability. It's like skateboard parks, as long as your signage is up.
Yeah.
I can't tell somebody to put a helmet on. Actually, liability would fall back on me if I have to police it all the time. So it's at your own risk.
Yeah. You always want to say recommended and not required.
Yeah.
Because if you say required, then you take on liability.
So, have you been in that situation before with?
Yeah,
Have they had them?
because he is low tone. I don't know that I would be comfortable putting him in something like that because while he can sit up and hold himself in that movement, I would want him strapped in for
Gotcha.
his safety.
Yeah. And maybe you could do like one,
Yeah,
wouldn't have to do all of them.
Yeah.
he can't be trusted. As
So there's
an
no
almost
other
5-year-old
option
laying
for
in
the
center.
seesaw to have like a chair.
Um,
I saw one where it was like more like a chair, right? It wasn't.
it is a chair. The rock saw seesaw is more of a chair than it is like that because it has the open sides on it. So it does give you that
Do
more
you have
upper.
pictures of the other one?
And as we're going through this, I'm sure it's like everyone else.
Oh, so
If we don't
that is-
like one or two pieces, but in general, like the design and everything else, you know, we'd probably change anything out. So
So it kind of tilts back.
Yeah.
That actually is.
So that
looks
wouldn't be
fairly
too bad.
supportive.
It is.
Yeah.
a better
Yeah.
picture there.
Yeah.
A different
It's
one.
on the back of the
Okay.
page. It kind of tilts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're
That's it right there.
Well,
Yep.
it's got the
Oh.
pommel support too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not as aggressive.
that's way different looking.
Yeah,
Than
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
So that's
the
more for
option.
5 to 12-year-olds. The other
Yeah.
one is 2 to 5. So it just depends on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That.
Yep.
Even yeah.
That's the rock saw.
Rock saw, seesaw. Yep. Oh, and then the other cool piece that I love is our inclusive whirl
Yeah.
This is
I
the
think we
zero
all kind of
approach.
like that too. On
here.
Yeah.
We've been putting those in a lot of schools. You can get 2 wheelchairs on there. People can spin together, and there's also a seat, so you
Oh.
can sit on there.
wow.
And what happens is you load this up with kids, and then kids run around the outside too and spin. So I've seen like 15 kids on that at
Oh, wow.
schools. Yeah, they just love it.
What spins, the white portion of the
Yeah.
circle?
The plate down below,
Will
it all spins together.
will it hold both electric, and
Yeah, power chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
manual?
Yeah.
Power.
yeah, it's very sturdy. Got a good foundation on it. And then I was just talking to Casey that because that is a high use area, that rubber will wear out a little bit quicker. So using the smaller granules and doing it 100% color will help last the life of that PIP.
Rose.
This was the other view where we have the upper play panels.
I can sit.
And we do have shade. Obviously, that is super important, is shade for the kiddos so they don't get burnt. And just keep them cool, because if they're cool, they're going to play longer on the playground. So this was the imagination play, and then the upper play panel with the music. You can see better here. And we also have a gizmo panel that's on this first play panel here, and another play panel on the other side.
Is the music lower enough, or can they be lowered so wheelchair reach them?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it depends if you want to talk about, do we need it for 2 to 5-year-olds or do we need it for 5 to 12-year-olds? Because their anthropometrics are a little bit different.
Yeah. And you can do it for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to do the buttons?
Yeah, I can.
Oh,
I
okay.
can save you some
You're awesome.
steps.
Thank you.
Jamie, is there a lot going on there, or is it like pretty simple? You've seen this before with what you guys seen, or Sonia?
I'm loving this option.
Oh my gosh.
Like the ramps that he could get and kind of see everything. That his sister could be right beside him.
And the shade.
The shade is amazing.
Is the shape, is that a cloth canopy?
Yeah.
Is that where,
I wouldn't say it wears out as long as you maintain it.
I've got two of them just like that splash pad, and I do need to clean them up there. I haven't cleaned them for a year, and just one of those
So
things.
they're pretty.
Oh, I pressure wash them, leave them on all year.
Yeah.
We
Does
got the
that
general.
keep the stainless slide
Cooler.
reasonably cool?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How tall is that slide there?
Which one?
The
This one here?
Yeah.
That's a 5 foot.
I think somewhere I did see 5 foot, 60 inches,
It's hard to
64 or 60.
Yeah, 5 foot, 60 inches. So what we did is, if you can transfer out of your wheelchair, you can climb on everything on this playground. Because usually 8 inches and below is the transfer height for somebody to push themselves up. So that is why we designed it the way we did. You got 4 foot, you're going to 4'6", then you go to 5, and then you can go down the slide. So it's designed for them to get to the highest point, which is what a boundless playground, which is what Taylor's dream, what we did there. Yep. So there's a lot of playing, a lot of looping
Go back,
patterns.
Jalissa.
Yeah.
Sorry,
if it would.
sorry.
I'm just curious how far in that wheelchair. So is this a ramp?
Yes.
So they can. I love that
I know.
they're really included.
Yeah.
In this
The only
set a
place I'm
lot.
understanding right, they can't go up to that third level to the tallest,
In the wheelchair.
Okay.
But they can
but
transfer.
everything else,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So
And do you think that's
So-
something that he'd feel like he was a part
Oh,
of
yeah,
it? And
for sure, because he's not going to go down a slide anyway.
right.
Like, he would have to stay in his chair for all of it.
But there's
But
enough.
he'd be able to zip around that whole thing.
There's a lot to do there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, I think so. The tube there. Is there other options that would make it accessible for like a ramp to go up there instead of the tube? My kids stay in that and it's hard to get them out of it.
Okay. Do you want
Yeah.
something that's more open?
Right. Is there like an open option so
There's
that
there's a lot of different things we can do. That we also have an Arise ramp. We are the only manufacturer that has inclusive playgrounds, inclusive to 12 feet, and kids can transfer out of the wheelchair and get all the way up to 12 foot and go down the 12-foot slide. And it's more of a rubbery conveyor belt type material, so it's very strong and sturdy, and they can push themselves up and has handholds on it, so they can get up to the next level.
It sounds like I'm hearing maybe if you can note some options there, different options. Is
Yeah.
that what I'm hearing?
I agree. You get that tired
Okay.
kid that doesn't want to leave, they're gonna
Yep,
hide in
they're
that
gonna hide in
tube,
that
and then
tube.
mom
Not
has to
even-
go.
As a normal
Been there, done that.
parent with normal
Right.
kids,
Yeah.
like my kids don't like the slide at not Hidden Diamonds, Valley View that's enclosed like that because of or wherever it's at.
Is it inclusive? Isn't that?
the
Oh yeah, I just want it. Yeah,
One of them is. One
that
of
one's a
them
little
has it.
longer too.
Yeah, but because of the you
Yeah.
can't see and I
Yeah.
can't see them
starting
and
there?
Anything else on that structure, you guys? Why she's taking notes on that
Yeah.
piece?
is this
Sorry.
are these two the same or what?
They're
is-
different play panels.
okay, but
Yeah.
still play plan.
Mm-hmm. And we have a variety of play panels depending on what type of sense you want to create. We can change those.
So it sounds like there's a lot of options. If we like this, we can hash it out, have you back, and
Yeah.
and go over. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
And the one thing I do want to point out is our inclusive design essentials. We do 1 through 7, and it covers physical, social, emotional, sensory, cognitive, and communication. Even some children that don't have the ability to talk, they can use our communication panel, which is on there, and they can point to different things, and that's one good way to have better communication on a playground. And we have the essentials covers music, dramatic play, graduated levels of physical challenge, communication, looping patterns we talked about, active and passive play areas, because sometimes they need sensory relief. So we have little pockets down underneath the playground where they can sit and kind of relieve and just kind of see what's going on before they want to jump back in and interact on the playground. We have the ramp access. We have the accessible surfacing. We have motion and movement. We have the swings that are in there. And we also have an ADA swing that gives your torso the ability to support itself. It's our 0G swing, which is this one here. And then you have a belt, and this is a mommy and me swing where you could put your
Oh, I
toddler
was
in there
wondering-
and
I
swing
was wondering
together.
what that was. Yeah.
Yeah. So the 0G swing has the support that comes over the top, and it's incorporated into the swing. But we also have one that you can swing with your child, which I dearly love. But again, it would have to have the harness if you needed additional support. So we can go either way with that. It just depends on which one you guys like.
Yeah, that's something, future we can, discuss.
Yeah.
At least there's an option.
Is that mommy and me a regular swing seat?
It's
So like
hard.
a second sibling could go on
Yes.
it if they've got
Yep.
that.
Yeah. It's not like a belt. It's actually molded, so it doesn't hurt your hips when you sit in it.
At Sunset, it doesn't have the harness, does it? It has two of those seats, right?
Yeah, we have a variety at Kendallville. Is that fairly close that you guys like
Oh,
to
it's
go?
only 15, 18 miles, or Sunset's probably only 15 miles.
Okay.
17 miles.
Yeah. Swinging was very important to Dawn, so we did a variety of swings there. And I was just going to. So on page 98, you can see the two different types of swing, the 0G swing up at the top corner. This is the one that will give you some torso support and the harness that comes over the top. And that's for, we have a 2 to 5 or a 5 to 12, depending on which size you want to go. And then the adaptive swing seat is next to her. And that's the one that has the harness. Page 98.
Oh, somehow I got 69 out of that. Sorry.
Yeah.
We've used both of those. Anytime the adaptive one, like the harnesses have been missing, and the 0G one's nice.
Yeah.
So the 0G is the 5 to 12.
Or
To
2 to
left.
5. Either one.
Serious?
hmm
Wonder why, huh?
Yeah.
That-
We usually do the bigger one because that way you can sit more children in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My only feedback is that there's like on that picture that you have, is there only 3 swings, right? So there's just one of the.
Yeah, we got the mommy and me swing, and then the belt, and then the 0G. But we can adjust that if you want more swings. We can do that as well.
And the way I look at it, there's swings on the other one, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like like 2 friends couldn't swing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have tandem swings that are fun too, where 2 kids can swing together. Those have been very popular. So it just depends on what type of experience you want the kids to have.
And depending on which one, okay. Yeah. Well, so far,
Yeah. The swings here.
yeah. We know we want the turntable, yeah. I don't know if that could be turned and we added a little to it with the measurements, but maybe another swing, so
Mhm.
there'd be 4 stations.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that can be turned for measurements. But I think on that end, we've got more room towards the fence, so I think we're safe there.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like there's a lot of open space. Is that just because like size specs?
I was just trying to go off of the
Okay.
footprint, but if we rotated the swings,
Yeah,
Because even like the saucer swings are
Yes.
awesome, and my son can use those too.
oh yeah, I love the saucer swing. And we can put a saucer swing in a bay too. It doesn't have to be a single one.
How high does that 0G come?
The top rail on our adaptive swings are
Like that center piece. I'm just wondering if the kids are.
usually this is gonna be like at 2 feet from the ground, the seat part. So it's easy to transfer from the wheelchair into the adaptive seat.
But this piece right here, how high up on their chest is it gonna come?
This would probably be about 12 inches. Is that what you're asking? So this is 24, so that's probably about 36.
and they have one of these at Kendallville we can actually see then.
I'm pretty sure we have a 0G there, but I'll.
Yeah, the tandem swing.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, these are very popular. Taylor's Dream has the 0G.
I'll be there. Tomorrow.
Oh, nice. You want me to switch?
Okay, so we talked about the swings. Yeah, if you want to go to the next view. Okay, so again, just to reiterate, you got a ramp coming up to the first deck, a ramp coming up to the second deck, and then a ramp to the third deck, and then you can transfer and go up the sensory wave. And this is all ADA compliant up here with a max 6-inch difference between each deck, so they can easily push themselves up and go down the slide. So we have looping patterns to get back up. You go down the slide and you get back up. And then you go down the slide, you go onto the balance beam and get back up. So kids are going to be running and playing together. There's a lot of activity going on. So you got your inclusive seesaw there that we can change to the rock saw easily. You got your spinning component here, 2 children in a wheelchair plus kids around it interacting. And then you got your swinging here. And then we got balance, we got brachiating, which is the overhead component, and sliding. So we've covered everything for a child to have fun on a playground.
And just FYI, there's 109 feet, and I think it's almost to a fence, and they may be out of room for to go towards the fence. But if we had to tweak and and then that probably hamper the cost on the. So there, it may, yeah.
Okay.
On the forced swing, it may not work. Not sure.
Okay.
Measurements.
All right.
I see it's pretty close to the fence, isn't it?
Yes, but I was just wondering if we rotated it.
I see you do have some room, but yeah, I don't know the measurements that you have to have.
Mhm. Yeah, usually it's 16 front and 16 back, so 32 total.
As far as option 1, is there anything you guys don't like besides pieces and parts that could be changed out? To me, go ahead, Sonia.
I just thought it looks really cool.
And here, I'm just gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you like the zip line and everything. I love one. After looking at them both and hearing a lot, this is definitely so far my pick.
Yep.
But we could spend time on the next one.
And this is basically just talking about different freestanding components. We have the saucer swing in there that you like, but we can put it on the 3-bay swing. We have music in there. We have a connection bench, which is the yellow bench where somebody in a wheelchair can actually come in underneath the bench and they can play. Sometimes you just want to communicate together and hang out. And the sensory wave panel. And we can actually put this sensory wave panel on the ramp, the sides of the ramp, and you can interact that way as well. And then we have the Mommy and Me, the 0G, and just additional belts in there. Yeah. The shadow play is something that's kind of fun. Kids like to interact with color. So the shadow play has motion, so you can spin the shadow play, and that will move as the sun moves, and the kids can spin that around. And then they play different games by touching the different colors. And then the roller table.
A lot of these things might be fun, like the next
phase.
Yeah. And then a friend of mine that lives in Albion, Megan Leatherman, she actually loved the roller table idea. There's not a lot of roller tables in a lot of parks. They do cost more money, but there is a great sense of independence on a roller table, and you can interact with other siblings on the roller table because you can play together, you can hold and push yourself back and forth on the rollers, and it's at transfer height. So that's kind of why I put that one in there, just as an option. And then music is obviously.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like this one. There's a lot going on here.
Yep. But I love the ramp. I mean, that is Taylor's dream. That was your inspiration, and that's what I went with. And then I just wanted to throw out some other ideas, maybe for future or other playgrounds if you wanted to incorporate other freestanding pieces.
Do you have estimated price ranges of these?
Yep. The option 1
Crush our dreams.
Yes.
Crush our dreams.
Yeah, but I was given 350 and we were at 342. And that's with the rubber surfacing, excavation, and everything that you see in the design. Yep. And I don't know.
Not the fence though.
No fence, no drainage. Yep. And I don't know how skilled your
And when you say option one, is revision one is the same as option one?
revision one.
Is it the same?
Yep.
Okay.
You want a huge brand?
Yeah, that's fine, sure,
But and then the option two, that just has actually what I like about it is it lists out each play component, how much it costs, so at least it can give you an idea budget wise where you would be if you wanted to switch some things out.
What is the price of option two?
Option two,
I don't have the link, that's why I'm.
okay, 311, 941. There you go.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. And then the play on and the inclusive NDS sites, these also come with data analytics. So what happens is when people come to your playground, you'll get information about what they liked, what they didn't like, what they did, how long they stayed, how many people were there. So this is really good for the stakeholders and for the mayor, town council. They like to learn what this information is. And then you can basically learn about the well-being of a child, how long they're going to play on the playground, and that actually lowers your healthcare costs. So that's what the data analytics will also help you with.
So, okay, again, what is that?
That is, there's a QR code that will be on the sign. And what they do is they scan that. It asks them questions about who's with them, how long they were there, what they were doing. And then you find out more about their play experience, and you'll get more information and feedback on that. And then after 50 scans, you'll get visitor feedback and then outcomes, visitor outcomes. So you have baseline, visitor outcomes, and initial impact report. So you can kind of see how your community has responded to your new playground. And it's something that's been really cool, and Game Time is the only one that offers that. And it's free. It comes with the national demonstration site.
Do you see a good response rate with it?
Yeah. And the awesome thing about this is you can go to a map, and a lot of times people will tell you they have an inclusive playground, and you get there and you realize, oh, it's not as inclusive as you thought it was. So Game Time has this map, and you can go on this map and your playground will be on there. So other people will want a destination playground and they will come here because of that map. And they can see what the playground is about. And that it really is an inclusive playground designed with the 7 principles.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So this is about those 2 national demonstration sites. And the other cool thing about ours is you will get this huge catalog. And if you have a parks department that has like a programming program, you could say, okay, this Saturday, let's meet at the playground and let's play going to club hunt. There's all these different games that you can have the kids play that are already set.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And we have the 7 principles for inclusive play. And we also have more, so you can learn about, kids sometimes they don't know how to interact with somebody with a disability. So this will help break down that barrier so they can play together. So that's the other thing that we can do.
Are those resources that we can put on the park website?
Yep.
Probably. Oh wait, wouldn't be
Like as a
link, would it?
PDF or something?
Yeah. But this has a ton of information in here. We've had 3 scholars that actually built this program for us. And it's been really fun. Kids have really enjoyed it. Sometimes they just don't know what to do, and it gives you lots of variety of different things to do on the playground. And schools, if you have a school close by, they can come and they can learn. You could do outdoor classroom day if they would allow them to transfer here from a bus. And you can learn about physics and, different things like that too. That's been very popular.
Shoot,
Yes.
mine just went blank. Oh, Grant.
Yes. It's out now.
No, well, we're not ready. Just explain how that works.
Basically just fill out the form and send it in. And it takes only a few days for approval. And there's some questions, since you already have designs, you already know the scope, and you can just fill that out in that form.
And what's the minimum, maximum?
It's 100% matching funds because we're over 75,000. So say if you put in 100, we would put in 100.
So if we put in 250,
And it's only for the equipment, for the structure itself.
I see.
Yep.
So right here, the equipment is
We'll just say 200.
200,000.
So you would put in
That's
100
still-
and we would put in 100. Yeah. And that's for the equipment, but the freestanding components aren't part of the grant. But it is the structure.
So 100,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, anything above 75,000 is included in the grant for 100% matching cash. If you can pay cash, credit terms are 65% match.
yeah, cash would be. We have cash on hand. We've been committed
Okay, perfect.
to. We got a board committed 250,000 for this.
Okay.
So that's cash on hand,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
liquid. Yeah.
So,
I guess so if we purchased through this playground and we did so you already have 250, then they would match the 100,000.
Yeah, it
So
just
that would give us the additional 100,000 that we were trying to raise.
well, that's kind of where I was going, but I really think we could be in the 400 range.
With
Also,
that, yeah.
that fencing and everything, yeah. But the problem is, we can't. First of all, we're gonna interview their vendor. That's our goal, and then we're gonna all meet, discuss, and then once we, then we're gonna go site see and everything. So we're talking, and then start, writing grants and everything next year. But do you anticipate them having this same program next year?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and what's the odds of, like, how many grants are written, how many get accepted? Is that a fair question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say a majority of them get accepted. I haven't seen any in my territory to not get accepted, because we usually do this in the fall, so it's from the end of July through October. That's the window
So-
that grant is open.
By July of next year, if
Mm-hmm.
we start in January fundraising and write grants and know we've selected you,
Mhm.
what is the time limit of, let's say we're at July, August, we got accepted.
Mhm.
How long do you have to spend that and sign the contract and actually put in motion? Because now we're into August, September, October.
Mhm.
You're not going to build it in winter. Is that fair?
Right,
I'm
yep.
just trying to.
We can. We've done it before. It's just not the best weather conditions, and rubber, you can't put rubber in when it's cold. It has to be 30 and rising because the glue will freeze.
Yeah.
But the application and the order needs to be placed by October 17th. If that timeline doesn't work and you need like board approval like the next month, just let me know and I can talk with Game Time and we will put it on hold until,
And I think that's.
But we could
gonna
apply
be-
for everything in July, be approved, order by October for a March, April installation date.
Of
with
17
those
or 2020.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
That I'm just trying to think about how we can roll and.
So you said most of them get approved. So you also said within a couple days you have an answer. In a normal grant, you have a time period and you have a deadline
No,
and,
and-
there's a
wait
decision window.
months.
And yeah. So what's like that red flag of this person, this
like if
application's not going to be accepted?
what usually
Yeah,
happens if somebody doesn't have like good credit and they can't afford the playground.
Okay.
That's usually what happens.
That's just an interesting take on a
No.
grant.
Yeah.
No, and it
Well,
Go
what's
ahead.
your max, I'm sorry, Casey, what's your max, that you mentioned too, is there a max amount of grant award?
No, I would just get in there as early as possible, to get the grant
See,
approved.
and that's why I'm trying to, we could talk about that. That's a meeting for us.
Okay,
But it's just based on equipment. If we bought 400 of equipment, you're gonna give us 400 of equipment. And then, of course, there'd be install costs. Stuff like
yes,
that. Okay.
yeah, and you have a breakdown of
Yeah.
everything on
I
there.
see.
And I understand they're gonna make their money on insulation and other work, which is not a big deal for me. So,
Yeah, and like site excavation, there's a lot of money because you have to haul stuff off site. I mean, we could, if you wanted to cut down some cost, if you guys can do anything in the field to kind of help with that, that's kind of a big line item, and you could get a roller table instead, or just saying, like, for site excavation. Right here, excavation and removal of spoils.
yeah,
So-
I'm already taking that out.
Oh,
That's my forte.
okay.
So, we're down to 317 or 327. So,
And then some, if you have the capacity to do the compacted stone base for the rubber or the turf, that can save you money because hauling is very
Yeah.
expensive.
and I included that just to,
Worst case.
yeah, worst case.
Yeah.
But the fence isn't in there, and we gotta add that back in there, and probably another 10,000. So we're talking, it'll still be 350. Just this if we don't add any swings or any major changes. But I was going for gold and 400,000. I think.
But does that 350 include the grant or not?
That has their Omnia discount on here. That's already included. So we have
No.
94.
Well, it does not include the grant, but yeah.
So we did give a substantial discount on this quote.
And if we got the grant, will that discount still?
Yeah, we can look and see what is the best option for you. Absolutely. Yeah, because if you're looking at next year, usually there's like a 4% increase.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. That's
Every
10,
year.
We'll say 12,000.
So
Well,
we
on
talked about a
equipment.
second phase. Would we be allowed to apply for a grant that second time, or is it a one-time deal?
Every year you can apply.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did the city of Elkhart, and they did 7 parks.
7.
Oh, wow.
And they
With the
got 7 grants.
Mm-hmm.
But it couldn't be the option 2, right? It would have to be
It can be.
another structure.
Yeah, the option 2 is just all freestanding. So freestanding is, but we do have freestanding that goes on sale every once in a while. So if we know, I could keep a lookout
What
for
was
you
your
on that.
question?
So option 2 is just freestanding.
So the grant's only good for,
the structure.
and I think we kind of all agree we like that structure without going in another meeting. I mean, and I haven't heard from John or Tiffany, but Tiffany was gonna look at everything, so.
Everything that I've seen so far, Casey, I like.
Same here. Everything else, I really like that first one. It's all covered up. I love that there's shade, especially where it's going to be.
Yeah,
Is there anything you'd like to see different?
well, I think if we choose you, we can hash that out and then we can have more meetings.
Yeah.
To save time today, it sounds like there's a lot of options.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that you brought this book. Thank
Oh,
you.
good.
Very helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And this is
Kind of pick
a
things
Prices too,
and
which is
see.
nice.
this is like my little portfolio for inclusive elements. So this has like the top inclusive pieces, and you can keep this just to show some more items that we can also do. So this is the Arise climber that I was telling you about, that a child can transfer out of their wheelchair and get up 12 feet. That's our Aventus tower, and there's inclusive play pockets as you go up, so you can sit up there and kind of interact. That's in Valparaiso, and Elkhart did that one also. And then we have the expression swing I showed you with the ADA seat that they can transfer out of. This is a sensory wave seat. Kids love to spin and have that form of sensory relief. We got the inclusive seesaw, the rock saw, so we have those included. And then This is the sensory climber that I was telling you about. These are different configurations, but it has the sensors on the side, and the wheelchair can go up alongside and they can play together. We also have a GT Wave, which is a net structure, the first inclusive net structure that you can climb up and go down. Music is very big for kids with special needs. And then this is the shadow play that spins and it casts the colors down on the ground for you to interact with. Cozy climbers are always fun. That's a sensory relief cozy spot where a lot of kids with autism likes to sit back and kind of just relax a little bit before they re-engage in the play environment. And then music. This is our communication panel. A lot of people like those panels too. As a means of like AWS. Have you reached out to them yet?
Oh, yeah, we're meeting
Okay.
with them in, I don't have my list right in front of me. September.
Okay.
So we didn't want to meet with them again until we kind of had a plan. My memory's been shot here lately, but we'll present them some plans and
Okay.
I guess get a game plan for that meeting.
Yeah. I work a lot with Joni. She's great to work with. So they're very familiar with Game Time and what Game Time has to offer. The last thing I just wanted to point out is based on the playground for option 1, we have 18 elevated play components. We have 14 of them that are accessible by ramp. 9 is required. So we're going above and beyond ADA minimum requirements. We have 10 ground level play components and we have 7 types of ground level play. So that's the variety, not all the same. That's the spinning, sliding, brachiating, balance. And that's, sometimes those are hard to see, but that's what we are covering for those designs. Any questions?
Yeah, I do. I just thought of some.
Okay.
So, let's say we choose your company. So the schematics for me for groundwork,
Yep.
all that. How does that work with like who?
Okay.
What is it?
Okay.
I mean, do I actually get a sheet?
Yep.
Drawings
Yep.
to go off exact points and measurements. And,
Yeah. I will give you full points. I'll give you a site layout.
Yep.
I've done civil design for a long time, so I can work alongside with you.
Nice.
I have a Mosier if we needed to lay it out. I don't have
I
survey
think
equipment,
John, well, the John that's on has, that's why I was asking, so he can hear this. So it sounds like we've got everything.
yep, I can
Okay.
definitely help you with site survey and layout to make sure. And that's the one thing I want to come alongside with you as an advocate and also help you along the way. What if we run into soil conditions or the tile that we were talking about, how we're going to do the drainage,
Yeah.
how we're going to tie into the existing sewer that's there. I can help you with all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
But that 342 includes installation.
Installation,
And the fence in the ground and.
but not the fence. And the drain tile was going to be by the
Yeah.
Parks Department.
Yeah, the 342. If I was thinking, another 30 with everything. I think we could really do 400 fundraise. So if we have to cut back, we'll have to figure out what we're going to cut back. So.
And that is something that I can also help you with too. There's so many different components on this playground. If you're looking for fundraising, we can do a fundraising flyer and you can sponsor different pieces on the playground equipment. So somebody might say, I'll give you $1,000 to sponsor XYZ. And that kind of makes it more exciting because when they come to the playground, they say, I sponsored this. It just kind of makes it a little bit more fun.
You guys will put the sponsorship or will they be?
We don't physically do a sponsorship sign. That usually depends on how the Parks
Yeah.
Department wants to do that, but we can help you with a flyer to
Yeah.
break out each component.
Well, we've been pretty cautious about putting actually names on pieces because it takes a lot of people to do everything. That's something we can discuss. Or we could say we're going to put it on a plaque that stands outside instead of on the piece. So we've actually discussed a lot of that as a park. Yeah, that when we do fundraising, that's something we'll have to discuss.
The other thing is like side amenities, like sway benches, which are the 6-foot wide benches that you can swing with your kids on. Those are very popular. I didn't do any site amenities on here, but these are other things that we can add to your design as well. Benches, picnic tables, whatever.
Say if there's anything that we could add, it would be benches. As an old parent here,
Yeah, someplace
I
to
would
sit.
appreciate a bench.
I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
fence that's really cool with the, what they put in the little benches around.
Yeah, we've got, we like benches.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah,
And then get it in a orientation to the shade so you're covered.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys offer the picnic, I saw there were some picnic tables in here. Do you offer the accessible ones?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And we also have a connection table, which is very cool. It's by Ultrasight, but you can have like 4 kids in a wheelchair with a big table in the middle of it, interacting with others that can sit in alongside. So you're all a part of it together. If you want information on that, I can send that to you as well. Yep. Any other questions?
Well, I'm sure we will. Tiffany, John, do you guys have any questions right now?
Nope, not right
At this
now.
time, I don't.
Awesome.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, it's gonna be, so far we're impressed with both.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, I was
there's a
blown
lot.
away the first one. I'm shocked. I'm blown away here with how nice everything looks. And
So sometimes when you think about that, because vendors are across the board, they're very similar. So what kind of service do you get from these people?
Well,
That's
and
what you want to look at as well.
Yeah.
So if we decide to go with you,
Mhm.
I'm thinking, why wait till January to start fundraising?
Well,
What's holding us back from doing
I didn't
now?
really want to say that here with her here, but that's
Sorry.
well, when I kind of said, well, that's another discussion. I'm running dates and we're gonna do Nerva under AWS, but as soon as we get done with AWS, I think we can, if we think about who we're gonna choose and if it's unanimous, I think we just roll right in the council and say, hey, we've had so many, not blessings, but so much going on, and I think we've done a lot of work really in a short amount of time, and it's unanimous. So, but we need to get to that point.
So if we decide to go with you, are we like given rights to use pictures however we want, whether it's this or?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a marketing team that focuses just on that. And she's the one that made this awesome presentation for you as well.
It's John.
Oh, John, are you talking now? Yeah.
And I can also do an inclusive lunch and learn for you if you want an in-depth learn about inclusion and what that means for kids and adults of all abilities. We can do that as well. Our
A
regional
lot of
manager does that.
information, a lot of good information.
So
Still learning.
these boards that give the visitor feedback and data,
Yes.
is it something that we have access to, or do we have to wait on you to send us the data?
If you want me to start an initial report, I can do that now. And then you can get the demographics and a lot of the information on what the community has right now. And it's a 3-mile radius is what we typically do around the park. Does that work for Albion?
Well, yeah, but I foresee it. I don't understand all that, but I foresee kind of like your splash pad now. It's a lot of county outside of Albion, so I would actually go the whole county. But I don't understand what you're trying to do.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
And I'm looking at it more from like a feedback. So are we allowed to customize it to say, what do you really like? What do you wish we had?
I
So
see.
when we roll
Well-
into additional phases, we have that already.
It's a pretty in-depth questionnaire. And if you go to any of our NDS sites, you can do the QR code and queue it up and see what we ask you. And then that information gets sent to Game Time and they compile all that for you and then they send you the report.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of neat options. Support.
Yeah.
That my thing is sounds like so far, just like on the engineering part. I mean, you're an engineer by trade. Craig,
Yes.
I mean, got John, it sounds like, yeah.
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 So the different things, there's a lot of like community engagement, public service, environment, education, social, emotional health, physical health, and lifestyle behaviors, and diversity, equity, inclusion. Those are the different community vitality frameworks that we can focus on. And usually it's diversity, equity, inclusion, physical health, lifestyle behaviors, and then community engagement. That's the type of information that you will get from those QR codes.
Jalissa, I might have took your question out of context. Did you think we should write the grant now?
Not necessarily. I was thinking in terms of like this would be a fun teaser picture of this is what we want if we were going to start a fundraising.
Well, I'm actually taking pictures and I'm gonna put on Facebook, this is what we're doing. But the problem, we've been meeting, 8 months now or 7 months? How many months has it been? Everybody's gonna have their opinion.
Right.
I feel that we're doing our due diligence after the next meeting to be comfortable enough if most everybody's on board with the same thing. I don't feel or think that we need to have much public. Is that not good? Or, I mean, we're doing the job. We're going to put it out there. I mean, should there be? Is that what you're asking about public input?
Not necessarily. I think you're right, and I think we've kind of touched on that before. I think there's a happy medium in how much public input we get and what's valuable and what's complaints, for lack of a better word. But I like the QR code thing because if they can put feedback in there
For the
and we
future
can use that
second
on
phase.
future,
Yep.
and we've already done that part of the
I
legwork
agree.
without us doing anything,
Yeah.
I agree.
I do think that I've done a lot of like community input and to know like what resources people need, and I feel like I've been surprised with the positivity and like the things that people.
I
I've
love that attitude.
gotten rarely people say like, "How dare you ask if we need this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, how dare you ask for input or like whatever, so I wouldn't be afraid of
Right.
putting it out there to people to say like, what do you need? Because sometimes I've gotten feedback that like, oh, actually, like nobody wants that, or like actually they more so want that, and then you're like, okay, like this is for the community, so
Yeah. So I shouldn't be afraid posting our meetings, like what we're doing. And if somebody has some great feedback, we're going to listen, right? That's
Yeah, I
part
feel
of
like if you put it out there and say, this is what we're working to, here's designs that we've looked at, we welcome the feedback. And then once we make a decision, maybe we do like a public, not really a work session, but like maybe a public presentation meeting kind
nice.
of thing, just to display this is what we're
answer
thinking
questions.
and
So-
welcome it. I mean, coming off the failed referendum and what we've learned over the last few months with Central Noble, like, I think things could have been done differently and saved a
Okay.
little grief by talking more.
So talking more community. So I like that. So real quick, just going off of our next meeting, AWS, like we're talking October, maybe. Because November, then December law, and January fundraising. Just a quick thoughts. So
I think this is very much something that we shouldn't be afraid to put out there, but with that disclaimer of no decisions have been made. We want your input. I think this is something, unless someone can lay their eyes on it, they're not going to fully understand what it is. And if we can direct them to Sunset or other parks in the area that they can relate to, that they've probably been to and don't even realize that that's the type of playground it was, I think that will help. But I think for us just to say we want to put in an inclusive playground, they're not going to have any idea what that means.
Yeah.
So,
so you're gonna help,
context behind it, but
you're gonna help me on the wording.
sure.
And we can, yeah, and based on all of the components that I kind of told you about and the essentials of inclusive design, we can pinpoint all of those for you. So we can show how we're touching base on every single one.
Okay. Yeah, another good one. I'm not in a hurry, but I've got 10 minutes. I've got, well, probably 15 minutes. So, yeah, if I got,
Here's just different gadgets on different play panels, inserts that you can do. Just so you're aware. Nice to have it on one little sheet. So you can pick
and
out.
colors, a lot of colors,
Yeah.
so.
Yep. And if you don't like a palette, we can mix and match.
And I think that's for future, once we figure out who we're going with, we have a lot of options.
Were they? I probably missed that. Were they the same flooring options as the other?
Yep. Same.
So what does Sunset have?
They're not, they're mulch, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to
No.
go to Kendallville tonight. Now I kind of want to go to.
Okay.
Just make that stop.
Yeah, it's
Do you
not.
work for Easter Seals?
I work for the Arc.
Arc,
It's just like
okay.
Easter Seals.
Yeah. Do you know CC Porter? No. She's my niece. She works for them. She's like community outreach.
Oh, okay.
She loves working there.
At their cold water.
Mhm. Yeah. Great place.
I know that at Sunset, I've been there a lot, and the swings are a big hit.
Yeah.
Like kids, there's never an empty swing.
Okay.
Swinging and spinning are the two top things that kids love to do these days.
And I think we're set on no mulch on this one, maybe phase 2, making pathways, but we want to do no mulch on this, correct? Okay. I think we're pretty
Was
much.
this just with the pour in place, or was that for what you were suggesting, or was it the turf?
That's a good question. This was the poured in place quote.
Yeah.
And the turf would probably be about, I'll let you say it.
It'll be comparable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we gotta figure out.
But you will need containment for turf because you need to terminate to like a concrete curb or a wood curb.
That's gonna be a problem right there.
Yeah.
If we did this, we have more options. So, Jamie, any questions?
No. I like it.
Another question is the pour in place. So in our previous, one color was the cheapest option.
Very good
If we
question.
put in any designs that would make the cost go up, correct? Is this just one color?
It's a 50-50 mix with our standard colors, and there's a lot of standard colors to choose from. If you do a design, the price does go up. I will be honest with you about that. And it just depends on what design you want to do. If you have a theme, if you want to do a butterfly, or if you want to do animal prints or we can do whatever you want. I'm working with Potawatomi Zoo, and we're doing like paw prints along the pathway. So the creativity can be whatever you want. Yeah. It does cost more, and I always look at play value. Do you get a lot? Like if we put something in there that would create play value, like the kids could do hopscotch or something like that, or folloll a path.
Hopscotch or tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the value of it?
Yeah. Because I do know that children or adults with special needs, they love to walk and they like pathways, walking along pathways. So that could be a really fun thing to do to get them more engaged in the play environment. Yeah.
Awesome. Pretty impressive.
Well, I appreciate your time.
I know Jalissa can say we've been back and forth on a lot of stuff, and not for me picking or something like that. It's just trying to get more information and compact and all in one place, and so more efficient.
That's the thing about Game Time does everything.
Yeah.
So everything falls under one umbrella. Which is
Casey, this is kind of random, but with the pour in place having to have that curb, would it be a possibility to put like a small walking track around?
Well, I'm not for sure we have to do a curb yet.
Oh, okay.
It's not 100%.
Yeah.
Pour in place doesn't have to have the
No.
curve.
One thing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
One thing is fall, John. I'm gonna have them bring some surveying equipment down, or Ryan Weber or somebody. We're gonna actually shoot, and we're gonna, because they're on that backside hill. We could do riprap and drainage, and I'm not saying there has to be a curb yet.
Okay.
So if we do, it could be seating, and it might be beneficial to put a curb in enough for people could sit on. So that's
Yeah.
that's something I need to get figured out along with the maintenance of, it sounds like Portland plays, kind of what we're leaning to, but you know,
So Taylor's Dream has that retaining wall, and that could become a seat wall as well. And
Yeah.
you're about at the right elevation.
I know. That's what I want to get that shot this fall. And
Yeah.
So we have a good plan.
And get with Brian Leatherman, so he'll give you a good deal.
He still does that. Huh?
Yeah. Yep. He's local.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good deal.
I was wondering about like a walking track type thing because then you're including
that, too.
everybody, so then the parents could walk while the kids were playing.
Right.
Or
Oh,
I
where,
was just thinking-
where would that be?
I was thinking around the edge because if you had to have that curve. Like
Well, the
something
curve,
around.
it'd
Is
only
there
be
rubber?
to about that tree.
Do you want a pathway?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You can do that. I mean, obviously,
just a thought.
You
Yep.
see where that tree is?
Yeah.
I don't think maybe half or 3/4 is the wall. Only from the old to the probably halfway down. That's the length that we would need.
Okay.
But let me tell you, I need to shoot it before I even say that.
It would be cool if we talked in the past about it's kind of like a roadway.
Mhm.
That would be cool if we could do like a roadway / walkway around, so you could do cars on the outside, or your parents could walk while their
Yeah.
kids play.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, like in the rubber, we could do like a trike path. I've done that before, around the perimeter of it.
Do you think that's 20 grand more, 10 grand more? Or... It's hard to say.
It's hard to say. I
Yeah.
don't like guessing.
No, I understand. I understand.
It's something we can look at as an add-on
Yeah.
later once
Yeah.
we
Yep, we can do an
get
option.
final,
Mhm.
figure stuff out.
That's
Hey.
gonna be the.
Hey,
So,
Casey,
yeah.
I got to jump off here. I got to do some density testing. So if you could give me that information
Yep.
sometime this week, I can look it over. That'd be great.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you. So I did Joe's Kids, which is in Warsaw. It's a therapeutic place for kids. And we did a trike path around the perimeter of that play area, and that gets a lot of use. Yeah, they really liked it. If you wanted to visit one.
Sounds good.
And it's inclusive. It has the ramp system,
I
but it's
think,
geared more for 2 to 5s.
of course, it's gonna boil it down to if we get the grant, AWS grant, DECO grant, Bosch grant. I'm excited to think that people are gonna, foundations are gonna support this big time. So
They
I don't
will.
want to get too excited, but I think it's
Yeah.
all a lot of it's doable.
You'd be amazed at how much private money will come out once you start asking for fundraising. You'll
Yeah.
find families. There's a family up in Mishawaka that has 3 kids with special needs, and they really wanted a playground, and they donated money, and
Yep.
you'll get people coming out of the woodwork for
Yeah.
this.
We'll have more community support than we realize.
Yeah.
And because we don't have anything like this.
In
we're gonna
in
be
the
first
county.
of its kind, then
Uh-huh.
In the county.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a huge draw.
Yeah.
Jalissa, before I forget, if I don't talk to you rest today, I'm gonna get with you email about wording on a Facebook post.
Okay.
So if you think about starting to write something down.
Are you wanting to share pictures like now or later?
Well, I guess that's a committee decision. How about that? Let's
So
do
if we
that.
did like something like this where it's like,
So
doesn't have
You
like
could-
here-
specifics, but
Yeah,
it's
you
like.
could do like a little teaser thing of like, look
boy.
what's coming, stay tuned.
That's what I
for
was
this
thinking
fall.
looking at this.
And
So-
like, don't give any specifics, more of a like, ooh, because you're gonna get people that it piques their attention, and then they're gonna be checking your social
so
media.
I took pictures of our meeting today. They're very
Yeah.
like, hey,
Do a combination of that with some of this, and I think you just do a teaser at this point.
Right.
Because if we need to get through the next vendor, we
Colors,
need AWS.
see color. So
Do like big things
When I-
coming, stay tuned.
I
for
do
this
like
fall.
teaser posts for
Yeah.
work, and I'll do like I took a picture one day of somebody building this rock house, but all you could tell was that he was stacking rocks, and I was looking kind of over his shoulder. I said, "What do you think he's doing?" And it was kind of cool to watch all of the responses that were coming in, but it kept people engaged, and then I failed to follow up with a post, and I had people being like,
comment.
"So what was it?"
Right.
Okay, how about this?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna send you a bunch of pictures I took, and we'll figure out 5 to 6 or 1, and then we'll figure out something. Is that fair enough?
And then once we're to the time where we're ready to announce to the public what we're doing, schedule a public work session, then you can be like, this is what we've been working up to over the last few months. So you're gonna show like, we started talking to you about this in July.
Got ya.
Or even not necessarily a work session, but like an open house
Yeah,
where they
just
can come and see
something,
pictures and.
So are we gonna be able to, if we choose you, keep or get them back and
Yeah,
have?
You can have those.
And maybe even have you at a work session and.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Where are you out of again?
Leo?
I knew you were close, but I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly where.
Yep. When I was with Fort Wayne Parks, we did that a lot. Work sessions with kids, just kind of let them brainstorm, go through catalogs. I don't know if you want to do that or not, but
I flipped through and I think that's not a good idea.
yeah, there's a lot in there.
I've already been shopping myself.
Uh-huh. But you could pull up like different designs and they can put little stickers like, on what they like. And then you'll say, okay, the inclusive world got 20 stickers and this got 3, or, that way you kind of get a better idea of what pieces they really, really like.
On those standalone pieces, when we're later, we can also put that out to the community and be like, do you like this or this?
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer?
Yep.
The standalone one, not the structure.
No,
Right.
the
Right.
little
Okay,
pieces.
we're all, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
phase 2 stuff.
Is that a problem though when you start quoting? We're at some point we're gonna have to have a set design for fundraising. True
Yeah.
or no? Or we just go for this amount and we don't show them what we're gonna do.
A lot of
We
times the
should.
grants want to see.
Yeah.
And like, not necessarily an itemized, but a
Kinda-
pretty specific
kinda like-
breakdown and knowing that you have a clear plan of what you're wanting to
Right.
do.
I think we're gonna have a clear plan, but maybe if
That doesn't
several
mean there's-
pieces
yeah,
can
there can't
change.
be
I
flexibility.
don't think our grant request and our fundraising goal necessarily have
Yeah.
to match though.
Correct.
Like our grant request could be 400,000 and our fundraising goal 800,000. Like,
Oh, yeah, right,
True.
right.
I mean, we're gonna spend the money if we have it. We're
Yeah,
gonna.
I understand
I
that.
don't think that will be a problem.
Steve, you've been pretty quiet.
No, I mean, everything's going well. I think to your point, if you get to that point where you're putting something out there to the public for potential fundraising, it's probably better to have a plan so that they can weigh in on that. That excites people and
Yep,
gets them to visualize something that otherwise they might not be able to.
yep, just like all this right here.
Yeah.
Which of the parks in Fort Wayne are like must visits?
I would do Foster, Lawton, and McMillan.
Did you guys do anything at Promenade?
No. We're repairing the rubber right now there.
I just knew they had recently done one, so I'm kind of surprised if they didn't.
Yep.
Everybody good? I'm gonna
Awesome.
stop the meeting on there and stop recording.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
thank you again for your
Yes.
time. It was great to meet everybody, and call me if you have any
Thank you.
questions. Thank
Good
you. It was a
Thank you
pleasure
very
to
much.
meet you. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. And what was your first name? Jamie. Nice to meet you, Jamie.
Sorry, I was late.
Thank you. Oh, no. To meet everybody. And then you can.
Pick what you want, and then I'll.
I mean, it's on here, so.
So if you
And
wanna
if you
keep
need
these,
any more
I'm gonna